most of the people who got into this job really got into it with a heartfelt conviction that they wanted to be part of a team, that they wanted to serve other people, that they were very interested in showing up when the average cat on the street is having the worst day of their life. They wanted to go in and make a difference. That's what typically I find has brought firefighters to this profession. When you actually take the next step and you have the desire to lead those types of men and women, that comes with some responsibilities that are compelling. They're not something to be taken lightly, and they're something that really needs to have a lot of thought behind them. To be a leader in the fire service, you have to really be willing to make change. You have to be willing to stand up to some pretty tough people, some pretty opinionated people, some pretty strong-willed people who can be quite colorful at times. And you got to be able to say, this is what I think's right, this is what I think's the truth, and at least as far as it pertains to me and my people, here's what we're going to do. As it pertains to air management, I recognize there are challenges in putting air management together. I recognize there are challenges in getting it implemented in departments, and I realize the rule of air management, particularly having fires get out before their bell hits, can be a tough sell. That being said, it's the right thing to do, and that's what leaders do. They do the right thing no matter the personal cost. All you have to do is look at what's happening across the country to make a decision on whether or not you want to expose your firefighters to the products of combustion in the modern smoke environment. If that's your game, then you ought to quit. If you don't have the guts to stand up to firefighters and tell them, as far as it relates to me and my fire ground, you are not going to breathe smoke, do everybody a favor and quit. Because we don't need you, and your firefighters don't need you. They may not know it, but what they need is a leader. They need somebody who is going to look at the facts, and the facts are clear. We presented them in the program. Look at the facts, make a determination of what's best for my firefighters, and then, by God, they do it. And that's what the rule of air management is all about. I understand it takes time. In my own department, it didn't just happen overnight. It took us a course of many years of changing attitudes, of changing behavior, starting with our own. As leaders, you got to start with your own behavior. Nobody is going to look at you as a leader doing something completely opposite from what you say you do, and then you do the opposite and take you seriously. And unfortunately, we got a lot of that in the fire service today. By holding to what you know to be true, by taking the facts as we've laid them out in the program, as you can read about in the book, or you go to the classes or read in the articles, it'll become very clear to you very quickly. Allowing your firefighters to manage your air the way I was taught, the way the majority of the fire service were taught, is an absolute recipe for disaster. Now, you have a pretty simple solution in front of you. The only thing you're going to meet with is resistance from people who don't want to do it. Now's the chance to lead. I mean, this is why you decided you wanted to be a leader in the first place. Now's your chance to take the men and women that are in your department and clearly articulate to them, I am going to show you a way that can get you home to your family at the end of the day. And that's the message I give to my troops. When I see the firefighters on my crew, I know their wives' names, I know their kids' names, and I know full well, having just watched one of my own sons get married, they want to see their sons and daughters graduate. They want to see their sons and daughters get married. I have a responsibility as the captain of my crew, as the captain of my firehouse, to ensure that every single one of them have that opportunity, the same privilege I've had. Air management is one of the key pieces in making sure that happens. We aren't losing a lot of firefighters because they're burning to death. Happens once in a while, not happening very much. We're not losing a whole lot of firefighters because of buildings falling on top of them. I think we're doing a pretty good job of keeping them out of the collapse zone. We are losing firefighters because they are getting in too far, getting lost, getting trapped, and now they're choking to death and they're running out of air. That's where a leader has to step in and say, no more. At least as much as it depends upon me, my firefighters are going to manage their air, and they are going to have some type of reserve available to allow them to survive the worst day of your life. Look, if you don't want to lead, don't lead. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. There's 1,000 people waiting to get in the door, howling at the door to get your job. If you want to be part of this game, if you want to be part of the National Fire Service, the brother and sisterhood of the fire service better be more than just a bumper sticker you bought at the last convention. It better be something you hold here, that you hold sacred, and that you're willing to stake your life to. If you're willing to do that, and I can see that in your eyes, I'll follow you. If I can't see it, I won't follow you anywhere.